Gnosis, the knowledge they cannot give you, by Ru of House of Keperu. Belief can be inherited. Gnosis cannot. Belief can be taught in a classroom, repeated in a sanctuary, memorized from a book, defended in an argument, and passed from one generation to the next without ever becoming your own. Gnosis refuses that shortcut. Gnosis is not borrowed certainty. It is direct knowing. There is a profound difference between reading about water and drinking it, between studying the sunrise and standing beneath it, between memorizing the word love and actually loving, between defining freedom and finally becoming free. Information fills the mind. Gnosis transforms the being. This is why a person can memorize thousands of pages, quote entire scriptures, earn degrees, impress audiences, and still remain asleep to themselves. The greatest prison has never been ignorance alone. It is the illusion that memorization is the same as understanding. The moment you mistake repetition for realization, you stop seeking and start defending what you have never personally verified. Belief often asks for loyalty before evidence. Gnosis asks for observation before conclusion. Belief says, accept. Gnosis says, investigate. Belief can divide humanity into competing camps, because every camp claims its version is final. Gnosis dissolves those walls, because reality belongs to no tribe, no nation, no language, and no institution. Gravity does not care what you believe. Fire does not ask your denomination before it burns. The sunrise has never required a confession of faith to appear. Reality has never needed applause to remain true. This is why the greatest teacher has always been consequence. Reality does not punish, it demonstrates. Every action carries its own instruction. Every choice carries its own lesson. Every cause reveals itself through its effect. Nature has never argued with humanity. It simply continues to be itself while we debate it. Ask yourself a question that very few people ever dare to ask. How much of what I call my beliefs did I actually discover for myself? How much was handed to me before I was old enough to question it? How much of my identity was inherited instead of examined? How many words do I repeat because they are true? And how many do I repeat because they are familiar? The human mind has an extraordinary ability to defend what it has emotionally invested in, even when evidence stands at the door. That is why the greatest obstacle to wisdom is often not a lack of intelligence, but an attachment to certainty. The ego does not fear being wrong nearly as much as it fears beginning again. Gnosis demands humility, because it requires the courage to say, I do not know. Ironically, that admission is often the first honest step toward genuine understanding. The one who already knows everything cannot learn anything. The one who remains teachable can continue becoming. Real awakening is not collecting more beliefs. It is removing illusions until what remains no longer depends on belief at all. When you know yourself, fewer people can program you with fear. When you observe reality directly, fewer people can manipulate you with stories. When your convictions are born from experience instead of imitation, they become difficult to purchase, threaten, or control. Do not confuse confidence with wisdom, tradition with truth, popularity with accuracy, or agreement with reality. Millions of people can repeat the same idea and still be mistaken. Reality has never taken a vote. The invitation of Gnosis is not to reject every tradition, but to stop outsourcing your deepest understanding. Test what you hear. Observe what is. Compare words with consequences. Compare claims with reality. Let life become your teacher, nature your laboratory, honesty your compass, and self-knowledge your foundation. For the greatest revolution is not changing what other people believe. It is awakening from everything you accepted without first knowing. The journey does not begin when someone gives you another answer. It begins the moment you become courageous enough to question every answer that prevented you from discovering truth for yourself. Ashe.